They say Texas is a gun rights paradise. Sure it is, and Buc-ee's is a quiet place for reflection. See, every politician in this state wants to be the Second Amendment's best friend, right up until it's time to actually defend it. Then they'll start auctioning off your gun rights like it's front row tickets at a Ted Nugent concert. You see, every campaign season, Republican candidates strap on their cowboy boots, throw on a camel jacket, pose with an AR-15, wave the shall not be infringed flag like it's a state religion, and swear that they will never compromise our God-given right to bear arms. But the second they hit Austin and the cameras are off, the same folks start carving out exceptions big enough to drive an armored DPS truck through and still fit the entire Texas National Guard. They'll talk your ear off about constitutional carry, but then make sure you still can't carry at the Capitol, a courthouse, a school, or any place where government actually happens because suddenly you're a security concern. They will rail against federal red flag laws and then quietly draft state-level ones for public safety or just for the dangerous ones. They'll scream, shall not be infringed, and then back temporary safety measures that somehow never expire. They will sell you freedom on a bumper sticker and then buy it back in a committee room at midnight. Here's the punchline. Every time they sell you fear about Democrats coming for your guns, it's just another fundraising drive. And the louder the fundraising email screams about liberals taking your guns, the safer you know that their carve-outs are. Because in Texas politics, the Second Amendment isn't a principle, it's a business model, and protecting your rights doesn't pay as well as pretending to. So let's be honest. The modern Texas GOP doesn't defend your right to bear arms. They rent it out between campaign cycles. They lease your liberty during campaign season and repossess it when the legislature reconvenes. They'll protect your right to own a gun, sure, but they'll never fight for your right to defend yourself without begging for bureaucratic permission or to carry it in the places that actually matter. Schools, courthouses, even the damn Capitol where they sit protected, armed by security that you paid for. They treat your right to bear arms like a parking pass, only valid in certain areas, at certain times, and as long as you don't upset their sponsors. Apparently, shall not be infringed has an asterisk. Offer not valid near politicians, judges, or campaign donors. Your results may vary, void where prohibited. Let me be crystal clear on this point. Gun rights are not bargaining chips. Gun rights are not seasonal campaign props. And they are not culture war trinkets to drag out every time election season rolls around. They are rights. And the minute you treat them like political currency, you've already surrendered the principle. You either trust the people or you don't. And if you don't trust citizens with firearms, what's the point of pretending to trust them with ballots? If you don't trust citizens with guns, you don't trust them with freedom. And if you don't trust them with freedom, you've got no business calling yourself small government. Freedom doesn't come with a lobbyist or a carve-out clause. It either applies to everyone or it's just another product being sold by the small government crowd who never met a restriction they couldn't spin as common sense. The whole point of the Second Amendment isn't about hunting, hobbies, or hashtags. It's about power. And the people who keep nibbling away at your right to self-defense know it. Texas doesn't need more gun rights theater or pro-gun photo ops. We need politicians who stop trading liberty for applause lines. We need leaders who mean what they say, even when it's inconvenient, unpopular, or not profitable. Because every temporary exception becomes a permanent restriction, and every reasonable regulation ends up in the fine print you never got a vote on. The Second Amendment isn't supposed to stop at the Capitol steps. It's supposed to be where it starts. If your rights come with a price tag and a fine print, they're not rights, they're rentals. And if your representatives only defend your liberty when it polls well, they're not patriots, they're salesmen. So ask yourself, when the next pro-gun politician passes another public safety carve-out or signs off on another temporary restriction, who's really being protected, you or their campaign dollars and political careers? What do you think? Is Texas still the gold standard for gun rights, or is it just the most expensive illusion in America? Drop your take in the comments and tag somebody who keeps their powder dry politically and literally, and let's see who's willing to actually walk the walk.